Welcome to Good Mythical More. Reality TV can get cray-cray. How cray-cray? Let's find out. Some of these are gonna be made up, and some of them are gonna be real. Well, they're gonna be reality TV. None of them are real, but they really happen on reality TV.
Either they happen on reality TV or the writers made them up.
Right.
Link, here's our chance again. We're well practiced at this point.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So we should just be able to just do this really, really easily.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So whenever we start this, like we said, it's gonna be about a 10-word story.
Right.
About 10 words. Okay, we don't have to count. It's just when we've completed a thought, and we're just gonna say the first thing that comes to our mind, and we're not trying to be funny.
Nope.
We're not trying to be cute.
Here we go. You want me to start?
Yeah.
Recreational
Soccer
is
my
passion.
and
I'll
kill
anyone
who
stands
in
his
way
because he because
he
is
slightly
me.
Recreational soccer is my passion, and I'll kill anyone who stands in his way. Which, first of all, let's just stop right there. And where the his came from, I don't know if it was me or you who said that, but it's weird.
I think I said it.
Because he is slightly me.
I said me.
Yeah, made sense, which is what was written, but me, it was just me. Slightly me. Recreational soccer is my passion.
Fine, let's try again. You
and
go
I'll kill
first.
anyone who stands in his way because he is slightly me.
I think he brought it back around in the end.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think we have
went-
to keep
you
going
went
with this.
Out and then you came back. You
Hey,
clarified.
Right.
Gosh, we're better now. You see how good we are at this now?
That was great.
And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 words.
We removed that constraint, and that really helped. All right. Can you fool me, Stevie?
Well,
Nope.
I know that Rhett is a reality TV lover, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
expecting that he knows.
I have
Because
a
I see some of the shows that you talk about. And
I have a
I'm expecting
confession
he
to
knows
make,
some
Stevie.
stuff.
I've really dialed it back. I got through 60%.
You
of
admitted
the
you had a
first-
problem?
No, I got through 60% of the first episode of MILF Manor. And it everything changed in my brain. It was like, you can't do this anymore. Like literally, MILF Manor ruined reality TV for me.
I know. You told us. You don't have to tell us about that again specifically.
I think I talked about it on that podcast we do. I don't know if I talked about it
No,
on
I
this
think
show.
we talked
they talked about it.
here.
Oh, I talk about MILF Manor any chance I get.
It was his big turning point.
These are all. I mean, I don't think these are old. I think they're all they're recent-ish, but you might know them. So, we're starting with The Bachelor. An extremely emotional bachelor, fresh off a rejection from his top choice contestant, decided to literally evade the Bachelor production crew by hopping a fence and escaping into the wilderness of Portugal under the cover of darkness.
Okay. Even I heard about this.
They teased this moment
He jumped over a fence.
all year long. They teased it. It was like he's gonna the former. He's like a football player or something.
Yeah,
I think he was
now
a
he's
track
gay.
hurdler.
No, he was a football boy. He was a football boy.
He wasn't gay until he jumped the fence, and then something happened.
Yep.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He was a wide receiver.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's just watch him jump the fence.
He's done? How do we know you're done? Okay, up.
Oh. Colton, yes, Colton.
Colton, wait, Colton. Colton.
Colton, this is almost my last
My
season.
hands are in my pockets. There he goes. That was a tall feint.
Colton, I'm on the verge of getting canceled. Please don't do this to me.
Yeah, he's gone. So we got that one.
And then Colton did another show. I tried to watch that show.
They made the fences twice as high.
I tried to watch, it was a Netflix show or something, wasn't it? He did another show that was like talking about the aftermath.
I think it was just a show called "Can Colton Jump This Fence?" It's just here's
It's
another
like
fence.
those TikToks with the cats and the holes that it gets smaller and the
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
would have won. It would have done better than it did. Okay, yep, I remember that. It was real. We all saw it. Even Link at it.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, I want to make you feel good before we proceeded with the rest of the game.
I feel so good.
90 Day Fiancé stars Darcy and Jesse got into a full-on screaming match over an argument that started out about whether or not pork counts as red meat, eventually getting so heated that Darcy threatened to call immigration on Jesse.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with these characters?
No, I know Ned on 90 Day Fiancé. Is that his name? The kind of the older guy with the slick back hair. And Ed. He's sort of known for he's got a sort of a notable neck. I know about him and his wife.
A notable neck.
Notable neck. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
He's got a big neck.
He's got a thick neck.
Yeah. He it's kind of like a football player.
Okay.
But Darcy, I don't think somebody would threaten to call immigration.
Is that what you think? Yeah. And then
Not real.
pork as the other white meat.
But pork is red meat. Whatever qualifies red meat as red meat is true to pork. And I think they talked about this on hot dog as a sandwich at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I do note his neck. And what is that in the inset? That is a woman
That's him
grabbing,
touching his wife's.
Oh, that's him touching his wife's foot.
Where was she from? Philippines. Yeah. And she gave.
He's feeling her peens.
She gave him a chance. He kept screwing it up. Poor Ed kept screwing it up. He's like a recurring star on whatever network shows 90 Day Fiancé because he's such a character. He's just such a character.
I don't know. I'm.
That is, by the way, not who we're talking about for this question.
I don't think that these other people that weren't him were talking about the pork to that degree.
Yeah, you're correct. It's fake, but they did have many real fights, including one over the best way to cut a steak. This is Darcy and Jesse.
Well, they don't look like they would fight over anything.
Especially steak.
Huh. All right.
I don't remember them. I didn't watch enough 90 Day Fiancé. There's like 11 different shows.
What's the point, though? They have 90 days to get married?
You know when you get married to somebody for the green card?
Yeah.
It's kind of basically that's what's happening.
Okay, what's the 90 days, though? The 90 days to prep for it?
I guess 90 days is some...
Visa. You have to
visa.
be together.
You got to be together for 90 days to get a visa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear another.
On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a
You watch
fight
that?
ensued when none of the housewives could correctly remember the name of Dorit Kemsley's charity of choice, Homeless Not Toothless.
Wow.
What?
I never got into The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I never really got into any of them, but it's one of the ones that Jesse and I would watch when we were on vacation. But there's the one...
Homeless Not
Atlanta,
Toothless?
that's a good one. And another good one, is because it's so weird, is
Please
Salt
tell
Lake
me.
City.
Oh, yeah?
The Salt Lake City folks, man, that's a weird town. That's just a weird town. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just such a weird place. I mean, it's beautiful. Been there. It's beautiful.
I walked around. We had an hour to kill before we went to the airport. And we had our dogs, and I sent the family into, like, the mall.
Send the family to the mall.
And then
Great move.
I took the dogs, and I just started walking through neighborhoods to find a place where they could relieve themselves. And
Were you going to clean up after
I found myself on tabernacle territory.
Yeah.
I was walking my dogs. I was trying to get my dogs to poop at the Mormon tabernacle, and I didn't know it.
Could you receive blessings if you do that?
It was under reconstruction or something. Like the whole place, the whole square was kind of shut down, and then one person came out of like this big building, and it's just me and my dogs just waiting for him to poop. I guess on the sidewalk, honestly. I was going to clean it up.
Sure you were.
And the guy goes, "Excuse me." Well, you linked from Good Mythical Morning.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was the Angel Moroni.
It was the angel, yeah. And I was quaking with fear, and he said, "Be not afraid." No, it was just a dude who worked in there, who knew us.
Oh.
Yep.
Well,
So I quite like it there.
the thing about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is
That's the point of my story.
If you, like, in that setting, which is heavily influenced by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, if you're the kind of person who becomes the kind of person who can make it on the Real Housewives, in that environment,
Yeah.
like the combination
That's
of those
interesting.
two dispositions and sort of life trajectories is so interesting that it just results in the weirdest version of Housewives.
Well, I might have to watch that one. What is this a TLC thing or
Bravo, right? What are they on, Bravo?
Bravo.
Bravo streams on what network?
Peacock.
Peacock. All right.
The communication. I know zero of the answers to the questions you're asking me.
Why don't you
but
watch reality
everyone-
TV, Stevie?
This one's got to be fake.
Well, I dabbled a little bit in the most recent season of Love Is Blind because
First of all, you don't have to answer that question.
what?
You can reserve the right to say, I don't have to answer that.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Why don't I
feel
watch
like
reality TV?
It
I don't have
feels
to
like
answer that.
Stevie would watch it because
You know
You would
what?
find
It
it- you would
causes
laugh at
me
it so
to
much.
have like a depression spiral,
okay, I get it.
truthfully.
Then don't
and or
watch
to
it,
go,
please.
are these people for real? And like
No.
also secondhand embarrassment I have really bad. So
That's my favorite
so
emotion.
many awkward situations.
Hold on. You have secondhand embarrassment really bad? How does that play out here?
Yeah.
You don't have any of that here.
Yeah, we just learned how uncomfortable you've been making Stevie all this time.
Are you uncomfortable right now?
No, like these, like the one guy. I'm sure that everybody already.
You wanna talk about
talks
pregnancy?
about the
No.
Want to talk about what?
No.
Pregnancy?
No. Don't.
Me neither.
That's a different. That's not secondhand embarrassment.
What about homeless but not toothless?
I'm saying
Yeah.
it's real because it's such a ridiculous.
Can we talk about that? Can I get my
like
thoughts
that
on
pivot. Let's pivot back to the question at hand.
that? Yeah. As we were saying, homeless but not toothless.
is a reality because it's a dental thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's such a horrible name.
but
That's what makes
you're
it
not
notable.
guessing. That's not the question that you're.
I'm based on
answer.
that. I'm saying this is all a lie, and I hope.
I think it happened.
It happened, and we have a clip from just a portion of the fight.
At Dorit's house, and we had the whole conversation with Sutton.
At the Toothless and Homeless Foundation?
Not toothless and homeless. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
This is a really important charity, Kathy.
What?
Homeless, not toothless.
Homeless, not toothless.
Yes. And Garcelle, you know, it's a really
Are you talking to me now?
important charity. Yes, you're laughing.
I'm laughing because she's funny. It's not about your charity. Come on. It's not about
Look
your
at
charity.
they all
The
look
name is not
incredible.
amazing, but they do good work. That's all that matters.
They do amazing work.
Forgetting about the toothless, not homeless charity.
Yep.
Not
Homeless, not toothless.
homeless, not just a toothless.
toothless, not homeless.
I mean, it's not a great name.
It's not a great name.
It really resulted in some,
Whether you say it forwards or backwards.
some awkward.
not a great name.
I feel like
interactions.
that would almost be a better charity though. Toothless, not homeless.
Oh gosh, it's just you have to be. Think about what state of mind you have to be in for to land on that name. The Venn diagram between landing on that name for your charity and then looking like that, it's a circle. Is it not?
Peacock.
But so, they look like
Super glammed out, man.
There's a lot of hair.
It's just amazing. It's amazing that they spend that much time on themselves, and it's just
Well, they're on television.
But like the hair to like head ratio,
Right.
And then the
Headless,
in
not
between
hairless.
each body, the hair covers at least a good 2 feet
Yeah.
between each.
I'm
body.
impressed.
I'd like to see all those women bob for apples.
Okay.
I'd pay money to see that. I've seen someone ask you how long you've been married, and you don't know.
Well, that's because I'm trying to figure out what year it is.
You don't know what year it is?
You can't ask me who the president is. Yeah, well, yeah, I think you can right now.